The last time Hampton and Kecoughtan played, defense was the order of the day. The Crabbers defense, led by cornerback Terry Connor and eventual all-district players Anthony Cherry and Dwayne Thompson, held the Warriors' offense scoreless. Kecoughtan's usually explosive offense, led by quarterback Tony Jordan and all-district tailback Mike Williams, self-destructed, giving up 4 out of 6 fumbles that night in a 14-0 loss. Since that night, Hampton continued being stingy on defense, giving up a season high of just 22 points against district co-champion Phoebus in their only loss of the year. They finished the regular season at 9-1. Phoebus was also responsible for the Warriors' only other defeat, and they ended up 8-2. Last week in the opening round of the Division VI Eastern Region playoffs, the Crabbers took care of Eastern District champion Maury 28-7, and Kecoughtan upset Beach District champion First Colonial 10-7. This Peninsula District rematch is for the Eastern Region Championship and a berth in the state playoffs. In other words, it's the city of Hampton's brawl for it all.
From the new Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia, Channel 5 presents Group AAA Division VI, the Eastern Region Finals. The Kecoughtan Warriors versus the Hampton Crabbers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. Welcome to fastly filling up Darling Stadium for this battle between the 9-2 Kecoughtan Warriors and the 10-1 Hampton Crabbers. And Bob, this one is going to be for all of it.
Yeah, I tell you, Tim, this is going to be a great game. Both of these coaches know each other. They're good friends. They have competed against each other more than once on occasion. Back in '87, they run into each other in the Eastern Regionals, and again now. So they're not strangers to each other, and it's going to be a good game. The wind may play a little bit of factor. It's picked up quite a bit, and we're going to get some gusty times tonight, but I look for a real good ball game.
The Warriors losing to Hampton the only time they met each other this season. The Hampton Crabbers defeated Kecoughtan 14-0, while the Warriors also lost to Phoebus. The Hampton Crabbers, of course, their only loss of the season coming at the hands of the Phoebus Phantoms. There you see some of the Hampton cheerleaders, and we are going to have a full house for tonight's game. And we're going to go back in time right now because, Bob, you had a chance to talk to 2 very loose coaches a little earlier this evening.
Yeah, I sure did, and it was really nice to be able to talk to both of them at the same time. And both Mike and Kurt were very loose, you know, they didn't show that they were nervous. I know underlying emotions that they are nervous about the game. Well, let's go back to that interview. Bob Hintz here at Darling Stadium with Coach Mike Smith and Coach Kurt Newsom. Coaches, it's going to be a nice night for football.
I think it's an excellent night. That wind started blowing a little bit, which I don't like too well, but other than that, it looks good, Bob.
Right. You want a fast field, I know, with your runners that you have. You had a good field last week.
Right. They've got some quick guys, too, but we prefer to play on a dry field.
Do you have any surprises tonight, Mike?
Nothing. Surprise? Should I tell you now?
No, I know you're not going to tell me anyway.
Well, I just hope we can hold on to the football, you know. And it should be a good ball game, you know. I think if both ball clubs play, it was an awful close ball game last time, you know.
Yes, it was.
We eked one out. No, we don't have any surprises. It's too late in the year to try to pull out surprises. I guess old Kurt's got some on. He's been burning midnight oil all week.
Well, Kurt, this is the second time that you've met Hampton in the playoffs. In 1987, this is only you meeting them on the second go-round instead of the first go-round.
Well, every year they're the best football team we play, and we feel like, you know, if we get into the playoffs, you know, sooner or later you're going to play each other. And our kids responded real well last week and had a good football game, and we're just glad we're where we are.
Right, and is it tough playing the same team twice?
Well, it was tough last time. I'm going to tell you right now, you know, probably the last time we played them in the playoffs, we played the first round, which was which was kind of tragic in a way because certainly they were the best football team. We played right down to the finals. In fact, we went up and lost to T.C. Williams, and Kecoughtan was a better football team at that time, T.C. Williams. We kind of blew that game up there, but it's I think it's always tougher on you the second time if you won the first one. But now I had to tell Kirk the rules this week. You know, you start with the last score when you start this game. He didn't know that.
Oh,
so.
you're starting off 14-7.
14-0.
Oh, 14-0.
Yeah, you know,
We'll take
yeah.
Well, Kirk, what's your thoughts about playing Hampton for the second time?
They got a lot of weapons, you know, and any time you play them, they're always well prepared. The quarterback is really throwing the ball better than anybody in the league right now, and the little running backs got a lot of reps in and running the ball well. And defensively, you know, I think they had 6 or 7 shutouts for the season, so they're always good.
Well, this is, the fans look forward to this game when you get into the playoffs, and to have the caliber teams like we have on the peninsula, it says a lot for Kecoughtan and Hampton, especially for Hampton.
Well, I think, I think so in that respect. Kecoughtan, Kurt and his players and staff did an excellent job last week against First Colonial. We exchanged the film. Did a really good job against a premier passer and a tough offensive defense. They did an excellent job against it. So they played us tough defense for the last time, and actually I think we scored twice, but one of them, could have easily been an interception in the end zone. It was batted around 3 or 4 times, and we happened to have a taller guy that got it. So it was a very close ball game last time, and we realize that, and we know that it's going to be tough because they've got better season going along. They're throwing the ball a lot better than they did earlier.
Well, both of you have improved as the season going along, but I know what you've got to do is hang on to the ball. You turned over twice last week inside the 20, but you still won.
Yeah, that's can be expected in the option offense when you're trying to read it. We're going to have a few more turnovers than most people, but we've got to hang on to it to be successful, tonight. They're as good a defense as they play, and offense, you can't give them the ball many times.
Well, and I think it goes both ways, that you can't give you the ball anymore and you can give Hampton the ball. I think both of you got to hang on to the ball and do what you do best. Well, you both got good offense, you both got good defense. This is going to be a great ball game. We're looking forward to it, and good luck to both of you.
Thank you, my man.
Good enough. Mike, Kirk?
Thank you.
Alternative viewing from WHCS TV5.
My name is David Person with Lindsay Recreation Football. When I'm not coaching, I'm watching sports on my favorite channel, WHCS.
TV5!
Tim Cole and Bob Hintz back at Darling Stadium as the two teams are finishing their warm-ups. The Kecoughtan Warriors have left the field. They upset, if you can use that word, the First Colonial Patriots last week on a 27-yard field goal, as you saw during our pregame videotaped highlights of some of the games this season. And, of course, Hampton defeated Maury handily 28-7.
Well,
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim. I said we're getting ready for the national anthem.
I was going to say, I hope the fans at home will enjoy and watch the displaying of the colors and the playing of our national anthem.
That's the Air Force ROTC out of Hampton High School presenting the colors in the middle of your screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to ask that you all rise.
And this is the Hampton High School Marching Band.
Under the direction of Assistant Dean Shin, placed on this evening our national anthem.
near-capacity crowd on hand for this battle between the Hampton Crabbers and the Kecoughtan Warriors. The victor of this game advances to the state semifinal Division 6, and they will face the winner of the T.C. Williams game versus Annandale, which will be taking place Saturday, the 24th of November. This game, of course, videotaped on November 23rd at Darling Stadium. Game time, the temperature, balmy, 62, 63 degrees, Bob. The wind could be a factor tonight, as the wind will be blowing and gusting across the field into our faces.
Well, as you can see out there while they were playing the national anthem, you can see the flag twirls. All the flags were standing up real high, and they were blowing right heavy, and it's going to be gusty out there tonight. This game, it's hard to pick which team's going to win, as both teams are playing real well football right now. Kecoughtan lost a real good ball player in Vincent Thomas, who made the all-district team. He was hurt towards the end of the first half of the first Colonial game, and they brought in a young man by the name of Morocco Brown, who is a freshman, a ninth grader at the inside linebacker, and just did an outstanding job. Some coaches were just very high about him, and this young man will be playing on the varsity basketball team. I was talking to Revis Conrad, so that is probably the only person that is the big change for Kecoughtan, because Vincent Thomas was a very strong leader for that defense.
A couple of game-winning streaks intact coming into this game. The Hampton Crabbers, since that single defeat at the hands of the Phoebus Phantoms, have won 5 in a row and have done so very convincingly, averaging more than 45 points a game prior to the victory over Maury. Actually, Hampton has won 6 in a row, including that victory over Maury, while the Kecoughtan Warriors have a mini streak of their own going with 4 in a row. They have not shut anyone out this season, but their defense has played well. I see the game, Bob, as being a battle between two relatively small players, and that would be the Williams boys. Mike Williams for Kecoughtan, Vic Williams for Hampton. These two young men are small in size, both of them less than 6 feet tall, less than 160 pounds, but they got hearts big enough to carry 3 or 4 players for many yards.
Well, they're both very excellent runners, and they got quickness as well as speed, and they get to the hole real quick and make some outstanding cuts. I was talking earlier with Danny Mitchell, and I didn't realize, but this was Hampton has won or shared the district championship 14 years. Some of those players on Hampton team were not born. Some were 2 and 3 years old when they won their first district championship. So, and there's a big a following for Hampton. You find young men that lived in the Hampton zone that are 7, 8, 9, and 10 years old are just talking about playing football at Hampton High School. There's quite a tradition going there. Kecoughtan, along with all their coaches over there, Kirk Newsom, has just done a fantastic job of turning that program into a real contender here in the district.
We are watching the captains for both teams meeting at the center of the field, and our referee for tonight's game, Buck Victor, will introduce the players to each other, and we'll have the introduction of the officials and the players. Let's see if we can pick up that exchange live.
Tonight will be Richard Ross, the assistant clock operator, Tony Brown. On the chain crew tonight will be Brian McGrath, Dick Van Sickle. The down marker will be Hal Boswick. Hard time, and the clip man tonight is Dan Clemency.
At any rate, apparently we are having some difficulty with referee Victor's microphone. I'll identify for you, if I may, the captains for the two teams. Vic Williams, number 5 for Hampton. Number 70 is John Kavanaugh. Number 54 is Anthony Cherry. And number 77 is Dwayne Thompson. For the Kecoughtan Warriors, they are represented by Mike Williams, Jimmy Bembry, Matt Patterson, and number 52 is Jimmy Bembry. The toss of the coin has been won by the Hampton Crabbers. They, of course, will be in the red and black and white tonight.
Well, mostly red and black, very little white.
They will receive the ball. They will be going from our right to our left, as you have seen referee Victor indicate. And we are about set to run this game, as this is going to be a good one. 4 12-minute high school football quarters.
I tell you, it's going to be not only a good game, but Kecoughtan is kicking that ball. They got a very strong wind behind them. I'm very surprised if this ball does not go into the end zone and there's no run back.
Here are your officials for tonight's game. Buck Victor is the referee. Bill Bullock is the umpire. Carter Ficklin is the linesman. Merrill Eason is the line judge. Mike Mitchell is the back judge. And Richard Rawls is the timekeeper.
And he's sitting here right next to you, so if we don't know what's happening, we can always ask Richard Rawls, right?
He has been very helpful in the past. We appreciate all of his assistance. By the way, before we go any further, I want to commend Larry Malloy and his crew for a superb effort in preparing this game, the field for this game tonight. Not only is the field itself in great condition, but they've done a super job with the KHS and the Hampton HHS and so
if you look at the 50-yard line, there's red, white, and green. At the 20, it's red and white. At the 20 at the other end, it's green and white. So he has done a great job, and we just want to toot his horn all we can. Larry Malloy and his crew.
Amen. They have done a superb job, and just a little addition to the great flavor of this ball game tonight. We appreciate Larry and his crew. They've done a super job all year long. We're about set to go as Eric Long has it teed up, and with the wind, his kick will go into and through the end zone, as Sean Hamlet will not even have an opportunity to return the ball. And the Hampton Crabbers will start. Here's the offense for the Crabbers. The center is Cherry. The guards are Newsom and Tynes. The tackles are Bowers and Kavanaugh. That's Kavanaugh, not Davinaugh. And the ends are Gatling and Spencer. The backfield, quarterback is Fred Brown. Shelton Snow gets the start at fullback. Eric Capehart will be the tailback, and Sean Hamlet will start at flanker. From the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Hampton Crabbers. As I said, 4 12-minute quarters, and there are a few other rule changes different from college and pros. We'll make you aware of those as it occurs. Fred Brown keeps on the option, and he is thrown for a 1-yard loss. And that big Kecoughtan defense, that young man there is number 52 coming in on the stop, is Jimmy Bembry, and we'll look at the starting defensive lineup for the Warriors.
And then you see the defensive tackles. You have Porter and Foster at the ends, Johnson and Stacy. The inside linebackers are Brown and Bembry, who made that last tackle. Outside linebackers Patterson, Lewis, the cornerback Jones and Thomas, and Cal Key is starting at safety tonight instead of Corey Hodge.
2nd down and 11 for the Crabbers. Fred Brown back to pass, shovels the ball forward to Vic Williams. He fumbled the ball, and it's an incomplete forward pass because of just that fact. He shoveled it forward.
Well, it was just like a forward pass, whether you go underhand and overhand, it makes no difference. That's a little wrinkle that Mike Smith put in. He says he had no surprises. Of course, if he had, he's not going to tell us anyway. But that puts Hampton in a real hole. You're 3rd and about 11. And the ball is on your 20. Mike Smith calls all the plays offensively.
There you see the replay, and again, a good effort by Vic Williams to recover that loose ball, but it wasn't necessary because, in fact, it was the same thing as if it had been thrown to an intended receiver and been incomplete. Brown with 3rd and 11. Back has time. Throws long down on the right-hand side, and the pass is incomplete with superb coverage on the play. Number 81 on the far side was Lawrence Lewis, and he had the intended receiver covered like a blanket.
Well, that was Mario Gatling.
No, that's Wayne Spencer.
I'm sorry, that was Spencer, and he was covered. Made a nice effort for the ball, Wayne did. Watch the replay. No, this is the play before on the shuffle pass.
John Stein will be in deep punt formation for the Crabbers. He averages a little less than 32 yards a kick, and he will be into the wind.
Yes, and you can see that ball kind of die.
He turned it over, though. That will help the Crabbers. It does take a Kecoughtan roll, and it's downed inside the Hampton 50-yard line at about the 48 of Hampton. They're marking it in the Kecoughtan side, but in fact it was down on the Hampton 48-yard line.
Well, they got to go by first touch, and it was first touched at the Hampton end. And here we have the Kecoughtan offense. We got Mitchell at center, Price and Bembry at guards, Fowler and Seward at tackles, Thacker and Lewis at the ends. At quarterback, Tony Jordan. The halfbacks are Cal Key and Mike Williams, who had 199 yards last week. And the flanker is Matt Patterson, who made that fine defensive play just a second ago.
First down handoff into the middle of the line goes to Cal Key for the Kecoughtan Warriors. And he'll pick up maybe 2 on the play. We'll get a chance to see the defense now for the Hampton Crabbers as they start the game. DeBrew and Tucker are the guards. The tackles are Thompson and Burrell. Newsom and Pittman are at the ends. The linebackers are Capehart and Cherry. The corners are Cassels and Connor. And the safety is Sean Hamlet. And we'll give you the coaching staffs, and we'll have all of that good stuff out of the way. This is Mike Williams stacked up at the 45-yard line and driven back, but his forward progress will give him a gain of about a yard.
Well, last time these two teams played, Hampton gave Kecoughtan nothing up the center. They changed their defense a little bit, and Kecoughtan had a hard time adjusting to it. Kecoughtan runs a lot of plays inside the guards, a lot of dive plays, and Hampton's going to take that away from him. As you can see, Mike got absolutely nothing.
Third down at about 7 for the Warriors. Mike Williams goes in motion to the left. Tony Jordan drops back, throws to Williams in the flat. Williams rather gets away from one man, another man, and gets a first down on an excellent second effort.
Well, it really was, because he was tackled about 4 yards shy of the first down, but he broke that tackle.
There you see or at least you saw momentarily, the big Kecoughtan crowd on hand tonight, as this stadium, and rightly so, is almost full to capacity.
Well, there's not going to be many seats, if any seats, tonight. And you can watch the replay. Mike caught the ball, and right there, he just gets away from the would-be tackler, broke another tackler before DeBrew, number 71, made the tackle.
First down, Tony Jordan on the option play. He tries to cut it inside, but Anthony Cherry has nothing to do with that as he tackles Jordan at the line of scrimmage for no gain. The Hampton Crabbers have matured tremendously this year. As we talked early in the season, this is a very young team. 18 of these starters will return next year.
Well, they've got a lot of sophomores on that offensive defensive line, and that's what's really surprised Coach Danny Mitchell. He was surprised at the way these sophomores just jumped up, took over, fought for a position, and are improving each year, each game. And you can't call them sophomores; they're juniors, experience-wise.
Close to the 30-yard line, that's Cal Key getting the call for Kecoughtan. He dragged tacklers to the 31, or let's call it the 30 at least, and it brings up a third down and a long 5 for the Warriors. Here's your replay. And again, as you said, Bob, a lot of these plays just a straight dive play, off guard, off tackle. And it's just a job of the big Kecoughtan offensive line trying to move out that young but maturing defensive line for the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, the Crabbers are faster, but not as big. That's a big team that the Warriors have out.
Option play to Williams. He struggles close to a first down, but he will be short of the first. And it'll bring up a decision process for Kurt Newsom and his group. And let's make mention of the coaching staffs. Kurt Newsom, of course, is the head coach for Kecoughtan. He is assisted ably by Johnny Pauls as we watch the replay. Remus Conrad, Mike Horton, and Al Morrow assist Kurt Newsom.
And, of course, on the Hampton side, we have head coach Mike Smith, and I'll get to the rest of those coaches as time permits.
There you see Mike Smith and others. Fourth down, the Warriors are going to go for it. Cal Key is in motion to the left. And a long count, and did they draw Hampton off? And it would appear they did.
Well, they wanted to do that, and that's just one of those things. Your team is, you're hoping they stay out of that neutral zone, but in high school football,
that's the call.
Well, let me go on to the coaching staff. Mike Smith, the coach, is the head coach. Danny Mitchell is one of the assistants, along with Elvis Mann, Walter Brower, Lanny Franklin, Woodrow Wilson, Simon Gupton, Kenny Gilliam, Joel Gray, and, of course, the trainer is Diane Limerick. And that's a big penalty.
That's a dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. First down.
We can almost hear him, but I'm not sure the fans at home can. But there you saw it. And Kecoughtan did to Hampton what Hampton has so many years done to opponents, and that is that hard count, pulling them offside, or in this case, encroachment. This is The pass completed to Matt Patterson of Kecoughtan.
Well, now Kecoughtan is inside what they call the red zone. That's 20 yards to the goal line. Last week they fumbled twice inside the red zone, or they'd have scored a whole lot more points against First Colonial than they did. The first time Hampton and Kecoughtan played, of course, Kecoughtan had 6 turnovers. They can't do that tonight. And, of course, Hampton is looking for the turnovers. That's, of course, will turn a ball game.
2nd down and 6. Jordan is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, struggles forward, and may, in fact, get back to the line of scrimmage. He initially was stopped for a loss on the play. In on the stop was 77, Dwayne Thompson of the Hampton Crabbers, along with Anthony Cherry.
But that was Galen Burrell that hit him first in the backfield and slowed him down. Galen Burrell had an excellent game, the first game of the season, which I missed. But he has really matured and has helped that defensive line.
Loss of about a half a yard on the play. It brings up a 3rd down and long. Now the Crabbers will force Kecoughtan to make yet another decision.
Well, they're going for the field goal. There's no doubt about it. With the wind behind you, and Tim, look where the ball is. It's right in the center of the field.
Assisting on the tackle, number 54, Anthony Cherry. I'll pick up 4 yards on the play.
So the 3rd down play does not get the first down. There you see your replay. And as you said, Bob, they will go for the field goal, an attempt from the 23, make that a 22-yard line. That would be a 32-yard attempt. It's a high snap. Jordan saves the ball, now tries to make something out of it, and is incomplete with the pass. It'll go over to the Crabbers.
That was one thing that I had talked with the coaches at Hampton before. They said the center centers the ball real high on the snap. I don't know that wasn't a fake to begin with. That may have been. But that's a big play for the Hampton Crabbers.
Here's your replay.
Points.
That was no fake, Bob. That ball almost went over Jordan's head, and he did well just to bring it in and have an attempt at a pass. And a good defensive effort by the Crabbers there, as they'll take over on their 15-yard line. 5:16 remaining in the first quarter. We have no score as the Hampton Crabbers now with the ball for the 2nd time. This is Fred Brown, the quarterback. He will run with the football, and he gets out close to a 1st down.
Well, he's got to get to about the 26, and I believe he made it almost to the 25. What a nice run. That was a good fake. All of Kecoughtan has got such a good defensive team. They pursue real well. That's almost like a counter or a reverse, because you got your backfield going to the right, and here you can see as Fred comes back to the left.
Fred Brown carried 83 times during the regular season for 330 yards, so he's no stranger to carrying the football. He's a very, very versatile quarterback. He sticks this one in the gut of the fullback, and he will be close to a 1st down. I don't believe he got it, though.
Well, I was very surprised that he didn't call a quarterback keeper. There was nobody over the center, and all he needed was a yard. The linebackers were back about a yard to 2 yards back. He would have picked up his 1st down with no problem.
So it brings up a 3rd down. 3rd down and about a yard for the Crabbers. A big play here early in the ball game. 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. This is Vic Williams, and Vic Williams should have enough for the 1st down as he got across the 26. And we'll wait and see exactly where they mark the ball, but it looks like a 1st down.
Well, we have Dr. Don Musselman up here in our booth, and he is a staunch supporter of the Hampton Athletics and the Hampton City Schools. It is always nice to have him here. That is the initial 1st down for the Crabbers, and that was a big 1st down, Tim. And watch the replay.
Vic Williams doing a good job. 3:36 remaining in the first quarter. 2nd down. This is Vic Williams to about the 29-yard line, where he is stacked up. And the first penalty flag of the ball game fly, or the second penalty flag. And we'll wait and see. Buck Victor will tell us illegal motion against the Crabbers. So they'll be whistled down for their 2nd penalty if, in fact, the Kecoughtan Warriors elect to take the penalty.
Well, I would at this point. You just put them back further in there at their own end zone. It's still 1st down, but now it's 1st and 15 instead of 2nd and 7.
Illegal motion on the offense.
Kecoughtan is taking away the inside game for Hampton at this point. And, of course, what Hampton would like to do is loosen that defense up a little bit, throw the ball, but it's a little dangerous to throw the ball at your end of the field.
So it's first down and 15 for the Crabbers. Ball is at their 22-yard line. Out of the eye. The fake to the fullback. Now Fred Brown, the quarterback, still has it, and he's looking for some running room and just gets back to the line of scrimmage. In fact, he lost a yard.
He didn't make it to the line of scrimmage, Tim.
Nope. So Matt Patterson was over there, among others, to make the stop for the Warriors. And the Kecoughtan defense, as we knew it was good, it's showing how good it can play. Here you see a replay. Brown really didn't want to run with the ball. He just didn't have any time to set up. And there you see Patterson and others come in and put the stop on him.
So it's kind of running for his life back there.
Second down and about 16 for the Crabbers. Loss of about a yard on the play. Brown on the quarterback draw. He sees this play is open. He takes it, and he tries to get the outside. He's got some blocking. He's still on his feet. He's out across the 45-yard line. First down for the Crabbers.
What a nice call. You can usually look for your running back to take that ball on a draw play, but that was a call, beautiful call by Mike Smith. Everybody in the stadium knew that he had to throw the ball because you had about 16 yards to go for a first down, and that's hard to get on a draw, but that is excellent. Watch this play, Tim, as it develops. Nice bit of blocking by that offensive line, and downfield he gets some excellent blocking. And sometimes just a shield block will pick up yardage for you.
Back to the live action. Vic Williams gets the call for the Crabbers. After the first down run to the 46-yard line, Williams now across the 49. It'll be second down and about 7 for Hampton with 1:40 remaining in the first quarter. We have no score. This is the Eastern Regional Finals between the Hampton Crabbers, their 7th consecutive season in postseason play, against the Kecoughtan Warriors, trying to be the Cinderella team and knock off the mighty Hampton Crabbers. Second and 7, just shy of midfield. Fred Brown, short drop, gets pressure, and out gets the run. He's got plenty of room. Fred Brown will take that play if they'll give it to him. Oh, he gets a good block at the 30-yard line.
Oh, I didn't catch the one that gave him a block, but what an excellent block he got. But that opened up, and he had about 20 yards with nobody in front of him. Fred Brown is playing heads-up ball.
All the way down to the 25-yard line, Gene Bowers, number 78, threw a vicious block at the 30-yard line. Here's your replay. This was not a designed play, I don't believe.
Oh, no, he was just pressured. The defense is doing such a good job.
Watch right
they
here.
Took themselves out of position. And
coming
here
up
comes
there,
a great block right there. That's the one you were talking about, Tim.
So Brown, taking what they'll give him, gets the ball down to the Kecoughtan 25. This is Snow, Shelton Snow, struggling to the 22-yard line. Hampton Crabbers will look at second down and 7. 36 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Kecoughtan has threatened and had an opportunity to hit a 32-yard field goal. A bad snap from the center caused an incomplete pass from Tony Jordan, who also holds. And that's the only threat we've had of a score so far in this ballgame.
Shelly Ellenson replaces Snow in the backfield, and he is just a sophomore running back, a big kid.
This is a young Hampton team. Ellison gets the fake. The pitch goes to Vic Williams. He is dragged and fumbles the football. Kecoughtan's got it at their 19-yard line.
And that was a nice job by number 80 for the Warriors.
Matt
Patterson. He's the one that caused the fumble.
So the Warriors will get the ball on the turnover. And the Warriors, with just 2 seconds remaining in the quarter here, will see that time evaporate. There you see the final part of that play. Vic Williams fumbling the ball after being tackled by Matt Patterson. And the Warriors, as we start the second quarter, will start from just inside their 19-yard line.
But now they're going to be going into the wind, and while we have a break in the action, we will be awarding a plaque and a shirt to the players of the game for both of these teams tonight. We're going to have a plaque that is donated to the player of the game to both teams by DC Engraving, and it is a sample of metal photo. DC Engraving is located in York Village Shopping Center on Route 17 in Grafton, and the man you want to see out there, of course, is Dave Buckwalder. The shirts that we get is a staff shirt that has WHCS Channel 5 Player of the Week on it, and it is, of course, donated by Turner's Hardware and Sports Place, which has locations at Willow Oak Shopping Center. It has 2 other locations also, one to serve you in the Denby area, which is a Denby Hardware and Sporting Good located in Denby Square. The third and the newest store is located at the Hampton, at the shops at Hampton Harbor next to Hampton University. And of course, Dave Chubb and Bruce Hatch are the 2 people you want to see there.
Morocco Brown is the young man who recovered that fumble that was created by the tackle of Matt Patterson on Vic Williams. So Morocco Brown comes up big with the fumble recovery for the Warriors as they dodge a bullet.
He's the freshman who replaced Vincent Thomas, and he is 6 foot 200 pounds.
Just a young man who's growing. So the Warriors now 1st and 10 from their 19 as we start the second quarter. And the carry to about the 22-yard line. Quickly, let me run down the stats for you. Relatively even in the first quarter. 2 first downs for Kecoughtan, 3 for Hampton. Hampton's all came rushing as Kecoughtan got 1 passing and 1 liability. The Warriors were 1 of 3 in third down efficiency, while the Crabbers were 50% at 1 of 2. Total net yards, 27 for the Warriors, 66 for the Crabbers. Most of those coming on the runs of Fred Brown, as we'll get back to these stats in just a moment. Gain of 3 on that last play, 2nd down and 7 for Kecoughtan. Jordan fakes, has, and throws. The ball is picked off.
Well, the Mike Thacker, number 1, was right open, but he did not get the ball over the linebackers, and that's because I believe that was at number 8.
That's number 9, Sean Hamlet, I believe.
So that's Hamlet. I can't tell the numbers too well whether it's number 9 or number 8.
Here's a replay.
Watch this nice play. That's number 8.
That might be 8. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's Cassell's.
And that is Tarek Cassell's who picks off the pass from Jordan. And just like that, the Crabbers are back in business at the Kecoughtan 17-yard line. So a turnover for each team. Vic Williams gets the pitch, and he is tackled by number 76, John Johnson.
In all fairness to Tony, he is throwing into a wind, and that ball probably died a little bit on him, because that's a tough little pass. You got to get it over the linebacker, but under the defensive back into a seam, and it just didn't quite get it in there.
Here is that replay. But you know something? If that pass had been completed to Thacker, he had clear sailing between him and the goal line. They caught Hampton up on that play. Gain of 2 yards on the last play. 2nd down and 8 for Hampton. Brown still has the football, and Morocco Brown has Fred Brown.
No relation.
No, that's right, no relation. If I may continue quickly with these stats, Hampton was 66 yards to 27 for the Warriors. 1 turnover for the Crabbers. None for the Warriors. At time of possession, 5:37 for Kecoughtan. Here's your replay. And 6:23 for the Hampton Crabbers. Crabbers' offense has been Alex Brown, as he's carried 5 times for 59 yards. Williams 3 for 5, and Shelton Snow twice for 2 yards, while the Warriors have just had 14 yards rushing. 8 of those by Cal Key on 3 carries, and 6 yards for Mike Williams on 2 carries. And now the Crabbers will be called for delay of game. A couple of mental errors that you've seen on the Crabbers' part tonight that you just don't often see. But again, some of this has to be credited to the youngness of this team.
Well, not only that, but it's also Mike Smith does call all the plays. And when you do call the plays, you have a tendency sometimes for it be a little slower getting in than another time.
Dead ball foul, delay on the offense.
And we hear our the mic.
Just barely.
Yeah, I could hear him.
Tony Jordan, 2 of 3 in the first quarter, while Brown was 0 for 2. And that'll do us for the stats. And our good friend Gary Moore over Computerland, we certainly want to thank him for all of his assistance during the regular season. This is Sean Hamlet getting back to the general area of the line of scrimmage to begin with. So now the Crabbers will look at a 4th down and about 10. Sean Hamlet on the receiving end. Okay, I'm told that the ref's mic is coming through nice and loud, so our return is not particularly good, and we are happy to hear that the fans at home can hear him.
Well, that's
we
great.
can see, so that's what counts.
Well, we got a field goal attempt.
25-yard line is where it'll be from. This is Sam Welch, who will kick from a 25, which will be a 35 if you add the 10. He's got the wind behind him. He's got it long enough, and it's good.
Well, that was Wayne Spencer holding. He has excellent hands, and you got to have somebody with great hands to hold him. And that's what I thought Kecoughtan would do when they were down there. But as you said, that high snap from the center took them out of that.
So the Crabbers get on the scoreboard first as Sam Welch kicks a 35-yard field goal with a little help from the wind, but that was a fine-looking kick. That ball would have been good from 50 yards.
Well, they had a lot of leg into it, and that wind is quite strong. And, of course, now Hampton will be kicking with the wind at their back, and hopefully will pin the Warriors deep at their own end zone, or down deep at their own end of the field. That's the plan. But you can see the great crowd, and there's part of the band and the people in the stands. Tim, this place is packed.
Welch had kicked a field goal in the regular season, a 25-yarder, so that is his second field goal of the season. And this one comes with 8:41 remaining in the first half as the Hampton Crabbers lead by the score of 3-0. And those points came after the interception by Tarek Cassels. The return from the 10-yard line right up the middle, that is number 22, John Bruce, a junior running back. There are 17 senior starters on this Kecoughtan team, and when you consider a lot of players go 2 ways, that's basically both of your squads. So you're looking at a graduation coming up for Kecoughtan, but Hampton's going to have almost everybody back.
Well, talking with Danny Mitchell as I have during the weeks.
There you see your replay.
I'll get to that point.
All right, get to that after this play. Kecoughtan now from the 26-yard line. Across the 30 to about the 31.
What Danny said was he has such a young defense and offensive line that he didn't think. He said if we figured we could come 6'4", 7'3", 8'2", we would have been satisfied because we figured the next 2 years we were really going to be tough. Well, these young men have matured much faster than what the coaching staff had said. Of course, that's great, and I'd say it's not necessarily the kids as much as it is the coaching staff. They do such a great job on the fundamentals.
Mike Williams gets the handoff for the Warriors up the middle, and he is close to a first down. The ball is marked at the 37-yard line. They need to get across the 37, so it would appear to be about 2 feet short of a first down. Buck Victor, the referee, will call for the measurement.
I was talking to Mike Smith earlier in the week, and I asked him, I said, well, Mike, what do you attribute the success at Hampton High School in the last 20 years since you've been coaching? He said, well, a lot of it's to do with tradition. There's a lot of young men who want to play at Hampton High School, and they can't wait to do that. But he says the most of it goes to my coaching staff. He says, I've had Elvis Mann with me since 1973, Danny Mitchell with him since 1979. He's had Stockner, had Frank Johnson. He's had some great coaches, but he's had 2 that has been with him a long, long time. They know what he wants. He doesn't have to communicate a lot of things, and that makes a big difference.
The first down is just short of, the first down was short by about a foot, and it looks like Tony Jordan will get more than enough for the first down on the quarterback keeper. Coming with 7:15 remaining in the first half, and the Warriors will get a fresh set of downs as the ball is marked at the 38-yard line. Buck Fichtner winds the clock up, and the Warriors, here's your replay. Watch Tony Jordan. He'll just take the snap from center and follow his left guard. A good job by Anthony Cherry to submarine on that play. He almost tripped up Tony Jordan before he got enough, but he did in fact get the first down.
Well, Anthony Cherry plays and leads by example out there.
Tony Jordan wrapped up. The ball comes loose. And who's got it? The Crabbers have got it. They can't advance it.
Well, I think he was down, but the Crabber ball. And that was caused by the hit on the quarterback. I didn't catch the Crabber who shot through the gap and tackled Tony Jordan as he was trying to pitch that ball that time.
Nonetheless, the Crabbers will have it at the 33-yard line. Here's your replay.
That's number 72 is the big Crabber to get in, and that's Dwayne DeBrew, who has played excellent all year long. And
if we can roll that, well,
11th grader.
I was going to see if we could figure out who recovered it, but that is the second turnover here now of the first half. And Vic Williams is met and stopped at the line of scrimmage.
That's Terrell Porter, 245. Oh.
Vic Williams, see, that was what I was talking about. These Williams boys, Vic is only 5'9", 155. Here's your replay. Watch Terrell Porter as he'll say, "Hello, Mr. Williams, gaboom."
And he said, when I had a turkey all by myself.
Oh, I mean, he just flung him, if there is such a word.
Mugged him.
Pickup of about 2, second down and 8. Fred Brown wants to throw. Throws long. He's got Reggie Pittman at the goal line, guarded by his number 81, Lawrence Lewis, and Pittman just can't hold on. Not a bad looking pass.
Now that pass was on the money. In fact, it probably could have been caught. But I believe that...
I think Patterson had something to do with that.
Yeah, I think Patterson probably blocked the flight of the ball coming in, and Pittman lost concentration. But there's one thing that I have to say about Fred Brown as we see the replay here. At the beginning of the season, all he was doing was looking for Mario Gatley. Now he looks for Pittman, he looks for Spencer, he looks for Stein, he looks for his running backs as well as Gatley. So he is... more comfortable at passing the ball, and it doesn't have just one receiver.
Third down and 8. Fred Brown again back to pass. Has time now, sees something, but he's not going to get much out of that as it closed up very quickly. He thought he'd run with the ball, and the pursuit of the Warriors closed it down real fast. Over to make the stop was 72, Michael Price of Kecoughtan, and what looked to be a large gain for the Crabbers closed down very quickly. Here's
well, there was an opening there, but it closed before he got to it.
He thought he saw something here, then all of a sudden it closed up. As coming over as well was 75, that big Terrell Porter, who is playing an excellent first half here.
We got a timeout on the field called by the Crabbers. You can see Mike Smith walking there with your back to the camera. He's got his play calling sheets in his hand. I kind of kidded him and Kurt about that at the beginning of the game when he dropped. I said, "Kurt, you missed your chance. You should have picked it up and handed it to Mike. You got to look at some of his play calls."
So far, both teams have played very well, with the exception of the turnovers. And, of course, good defense will cause turnovers. But the game with a 3-0 score with 5:29 remaining in the first half. Hampton on top with a 35-yard Sam Walsh field goal. Our only score of what most people thought would be a defensive struggle.
Well, last time these teams played low scoring too. And I'm sorry, I can't hear you sometimes. I'm talking over top. That's Mike Horton, the defensive coordinator out there on the field for the Warriors. And Mike Smith will go out on the field with his offense or defense. He basically will talk to the players both times. And I asked Danny Mitchell, I says, "Who calls the defensive calls?" He says, "The players." He says, "The players on the field make the defensive calls," which is unusual in high school.
Sure, Anthony Cherry has a lot to do with those calls. Fourth down and 9. Fred Brown back to pass. Throws over the middle. He's got Pittman at the 5. Touchdown.
Oh, he was wide open. Everybody was looking for the double out on this side, and he broke across the middle. What a nice pass by Mr. Fred Brown. Pittman just made an exceptional catch, and that's great after missing that other one, Tim, to come right back to Pittman.
So a little more than 3 minutes after the Crabbers hit their field goal, Reggie Pittman catches the pass, 32 yards. Welch will try the extra point. It's up and it's good. And the Crabbers now have gone up on top 10-0. Reggie Pittman in full full stride. Here's your replay. Watch Fred Brown. Good protection by that offensive line. And Pittman in full stride at the 6-yard line just took it in and waltzed into the end zone, beating Cal Key on the play.
Well, no, who he beat was Morocco Brown, the linebacker, who had dropped back and doesn't have the speed to keep up with him. And that was Cal Key coming over from the safety spot to help out, but he got there too late.
Reggie Pittman, coming into the season, to the postseason play rather, had 8 catches for 208 yards. And that touchdown by Pittman was his 7th of the season. 4 plays, 33 yards, a minute 16 is all it took. Again, a turnover leading to a score. Both scores have come as a result of a turnover. Ball taken at the 2-yard line on the kickoff. This is Terry Thomas, and Terry Thomas going left to right instead of up and down is taken down at the line.
As coaches say, you don't run east and west, you run north and south, and he was running east and west trying to get some blocking to set up that return, and has put Kecoughtan in the hole on the 10-yard line.
7 TDs. Here's your replay. 7 TDs for Pittman on the season. And all of those have come on the receiving end of passes from Fred Brown. There you see, over to make the tackle, 32, Eric Capehart. And the Warriors now will start inside their 10. And nothing happening in the middle of the line. When you're in the area of the field that they are, you know you're not going to see much of a pass, and the defense can kind of key on that running game.
Well, the last time they were down there, the ball was intercepted at about the 30-yard line with a Mike Thacker who was wide open, but Cassell's made such a great play on the ball and intercepted it. And it kind of works on your mind if you're a quarterback. You have thrown an interception. You're going to be a little more tentative when you try to throw it now. So this is really a dangerous place to try to throw the ball.
10-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Gain of about a half a yard on the previous play, maybe 2 on this play. And the Warriors now will be looking at a 3rd down and long with 4:15 remaining in the first half.
Well, this is what Kecoughtan needs to do. They need to get that running game going, loosen up. And if you get your running game going a little bit better, then that will enhance your passing game.
Here's your replay. There you saw Anthony Cherry along with Dwayne Thompson and others in on the stop for the Crabbers. 3rd down and about 8. Or that's 7 now for Kecoughtan. 3:48 remaining in the first half. Tony Jordan still has the ball, sees some running room, tries to fake his way, and comes up to about the 18-yard line, which will be short of the first down, and the Warriors will have to punt. Todd Pope will trot on for Kecoughtan, and they'll have to kick it into that wind.
Well, Tim, I've looked down there at the flags at the other end of the field, and they don't seem to be blowing quite as hard as they were earlier.
And they are gusting, because a moment ago the flag was going away from us. There you see the replay. And now it's
that was Pittman making a tackle.
Yep. Todd Pope, high snap. He may, well, did he get it away? Yes, and a flag comes down. So this is going to be a penalty against the Crabbers.
Well, did they? I thought they got the ball. Obviously, they didn't get the ball.
It didn't look like they did, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, those of you that follow football know that if you make contact with the ball, then there is no penalty. But
Anthony Cherry is talking to the official saying, I hit the ball, I hit the ball.
Well, Buck Victor will discuss this with his crew, of course, and they'll make a determination. Let's listen in, and Buck Victor will tell us about it. They may pick up the flag, and that's exactly what they're going to do. That gesture by Victor indicates that there is no penalty, and the play will stand.
That's a good call. If he didn't see the hit, then he's got to throw the flag. One of the other officials say, yes, the ball was hit as he was kicking it. So that means the Crabbers will take over at their 25. And you talk about the beginning of the game, the first 2 possessions, they had lousy field position. Since then, they've had excellent field position, Tim.
Well, the turnovers have given them the excellent field position. They've scored 10 points off of an interception and a fumble.
Well, and what was that but another bad snap from the center?
Yes, it was. Fred Brown Pitches back to Vic Williams. Williams looking for blocking. Gets 3 or 4 tough yards against that big defensive line of Kecoughtan.
I tell you, they're not getting any breakaway in long runs. Hampton is used to going, 1st and 10 and then 2nd and 2 or something like that. Not tonight.
Alvin Foster at 5'9" and 260. There you see number 78 there. He's trailing into the play, but he's just part of that big defensive line of Kecoughtan.
I'd hate to have the food bill.
21-yard line is where they've marked the ball. A gain of 4 for the Crabbers. 2nd down and 6 with 2:25 remaining in the half. Hampton ahead 10-0. This is Vic Williams. He's met in the backfield, gets away from one tackler, and then is taken down by John Johnson, number 76 of the Warriors. And it'll bring up a 3rd down for Hampton.
That was number 75, Terrell Porter, who hit him in the backfield and slowed him down.
Here's your replay. You can see
right
75 Porter slowed him down, but a good leg movement by Williams, and then finally.
And then he ran right back into number 76.
Yeah,
that guy is 205.
3rd down and about 4 for the Crabbers. And we've got movement. We may have a instant replay of a different teams, different side of the ball, but same
area.
Same area, exactly. That's what reminded me of it. And it's going to be encroachment against Kecoughtan. Once they set, they cannot go into that neutral zone, and the Warriors will give up a 1st down to the Crabbers. They discuss it, of course, but there really is no discussion. That's right. So those plays are 1 for. There you see the Warriors. A hard
ball foul, encroachment on the defense.
1st down.
There you heard Buck Victor tell you, encroachment by the defense, a 1st down for Hampton. At the Kecoughtan 15-yard line, 1:40 remaining in the half. Clock is moving. Handoff left side, Vic Williams, he bursts through the middle, he's down, close to the goal line, touchdown!
Well, that's the first big run that Hampton has had tonight, and it couldn't come at a better time if you're a Hampton Crabber fan. Vic Williams is so quick. I mean, he's got such good speed, but, he's not a very big man. If you remember last week, 2 weeks ago, I talked to him at the end of the ball game, and I said, we chose you to play of the game. He says, let me talk to you about my offensive line. They're the ones that do the job.
Welch adds the extra point, and the Crabbers have gone up on top now, 17-0. Here's your replay. Watch Vic Williams fake to the first man through. Williams blows right through that big defensive line and then does the rest of it on his own as he's tripped at the 5, but just was not going to be denied. The final stop put on him by John Johnson, but not before he got into the end zone. And that is Vic Williams' 7th touchdown of the season. He's carried the ball 140 times for 822 yards so far. Yeah, that was in the regular season for the Crabbers. And again, we thank our good friends at the Daily Press, Mike Keach, Javier Solano, and others for all of their help in compiling our statistics. Kick is, again, aided by the wind. It's a deep kick taken at the 2-yard line. This is Mike Williams trying to get outside, and he will just get back to the 15.
Well, I tell you, Hampton has had the win at their back when it counted, and that's when they've been passing the ball and kicking off and kicking field goals.
Victor Williams is a senior, and this, of course, will be his final season for the Crabbers. He has really put together some fine postseason or latter part of the season efforts. 155 against Denby, 159 yards against Menchville, and 148 against Bethel. 1:14, the clock moving. Kecoughtan trailing by 17. And again, they stay pretty conservatively on the ground. This was Cal Key getting the call. Cal Key with 736 yards on the season, 132 carries. Inside of a minute to go in the first half. Kecoughtan wanting to be rather conservative right now. You don't want to turn the ball over again, right?
Just want to get out of here and get back to at halftime, and maybe you can make some adjustments and come back in this game. They have dug quite a hole for themselves at 17-0.
Mike Williams on the draw play gets to the 20. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Warriors in a very fast-paced game. This game is only 40 minutes old. Here's your replay. Watch on the draw play to Williams. It opens up momentarily, but then it closes up as Capehart gets the first hit on him, and then Anthony Cherry finishes him off. And Hampton now has stopped the clock with their second timeout with 18 seconds remaining. They have one remaining timeout.
Well, why not? You got a 3rd down and long. You can stop them here. You call another timeout. They got to punt the ball. You got a chance for a Hail Mary type of pass.
Well, you know, and as good a team as Kecoughtan is, you don't want to let up at this point. You want to make sure that you score every opportunity you can. And if you can go in with a 24-0 lead, then that's even better. All right, we're going to return to Darling Stadium with the conclusion of our first half. But first, let's take a brief timeout.
Not a bad call.
No, because you need 5, and in fact, an offside or an encroachment would give you the first down. So Hampton bit the first time that Kecoughtan tried that, and what the heck, why not try it again? All you do is burn one of your 3 timeouts. So.
And at this point in the game, you know, at the halftime, you're not going to have you can't take the timeouts with you to the next half anyway. So that was a smart call by the Kecoughtan coaching staff. You got to try everything. There's no tomorrow for the loser of this ball game.
If you just joined us, this is the Eastern Regional Finals Division 6 between the Hampton Crabbers and the Kecoughtan Warriors in all Peninsula Finals. And we want to congratulate Warwick High School for their victory last week over Deep Creek. And, of course, these two teams victorious over Maury and First Colonial to get to this point. 18 seconds remain, 3rd down and 5, and Jordan struggles out close to the first down. Exactly where they mark the ball will depend on the first down. It looks to be about a foot short of the first down. Again, the mark, they move the ball back just a little bit, and of course the clock stops while they measure for the first. It is not a first down because they had to get across the 25.
Well, he's going to call, Effector's going to check for sure. That's not a bad thing to do. You always make sure. Everything is so tight in these ball games, you don't want to take a chance.
Well, the yard marker was set up. Well, boy, wait a minute.
Well, sometimes the lanes aren't as straight as they look.
I guess not, because it appeared that the marker was across the 25. And apparently that's exactly the call. So a good reason to measure. It was, in fact, a first down. The yard marker lied.
We'll have to talk to that yard marker.
So Jordan now looks back at the clock. 2 seconds. This will be the last play of the first half. He's got Thacker out on a pattern, and Thacker runs into the defender, and that will be a offensive pass interference call. Tarek Cassels was the defender on the play.
Well, he was going for the ball, but you can't go through a person to get to the ball. And even though that's the time is expired, you cannot end a half on a defensive penalty.
Here's your replay. You'll see that there is definite contact. Jordan gets plenty of time to throw this ball. Kind of throws up just a fly pattern for Thacker on the near sidelines. And you may be able to see right here, Thacker runs into Tarek Cassels, and the defender has the right to play the ball.
Well, both people have a right to play the ball, but you cannot go through a player to get to the ball.
So Thacker made contact with Cassels. You see Buck Fichter and the officials discussing the play. There is no time remaining, no seconds. I started to say there are no seconds or is no time, one of the two.
Whatever. It's all goose eggs up there.
0-0-0s, except for that 17, which is the biggest number on the board. That's the 17 points by the Hampton Crabbers. Of course, Hampton lost in the first round last year to First Colonial, the team that Kecoughtan defeated. And the Crabbers openly said they would like to have had a rematch with First Colonial to amend that defeat last year, but they'll certainly be happy to take the victory over Kecoughtan should it come. Again, the discussion continues as you see the Kecoughtan High School Marching Band that will be performing here at halftime. Now let's see what they'll call. Buck Fichter, tell us. Offensive pass interference, and well, which did he call? He pointed to the offense both times, right? Yep. So they'll have to replay the down, Bob. Your call is exactly right. It's offensive pass interference.
We have pass interference on the defense and pass interference on the offense. They wipe off and replay the down. First down.
Offset, interesting call.
Yeah, it really was.
I didn't see it that way, but then I'm not on the field, and the officials did discuss it at length to determine what the call should be. So I don't know how you have it against both teams. You either have a no call or you have one or the other, but that was the call. From the 25, no time remaining, but one last play. The flare pass to Williams, right side. He gets away from one would-be tackler, but finally goes down at the 34-yard line, and that will be your first half. So the Warriors will go into the locker room and try and regroup after playing a good first quarter and just giving up a single field goal to the Crabbers, but then they turn the ball over, and the Crabbers, being the opportunistic team that they are, capitalized on the turnovers to lead at halftime 17-0. We'll return to Darling Stadium with our second half of action, but first, let's take a brief timeout.
Alternative viewing from WHCS TV 5.
My name is David Person. I'm with Lindsay Recreation Football. When I'm not coaching, I'm watching my favorite sports on WHCS
TV 5.
Halftime is winding down. Fans are enjoying the concessions. I was going to pass my word on to Slow Mo Joe not to forget to hide a couple of hot sauces for me after the game.
You better hide them because they will be gone. It's crowd tonight. Last week we had a big crowd here, and the Wilson supporters brought a lot of food, but they still ran out of hot dogs. So if he doesn't hide any hot sausages as much as you talk about them, they'll be gone. You got some statistics for us.
Yes, I do. At halftime here, our statistics there. You see the Warriors with 4 first downs, 6 for the Crabbers, 41 yards rushing for the Warriors, 87 for the Crabbers, 22 passing and 37 respectfully. Total yardage 63 for the Warriors, 124 for the Crabbers. Just 5 yards on penalties against Kecoughtan, 15 against Hampton. And the time of possession relatively close. In fact, the Warriors with a greater time of possession, but the Crabbers have capitalized on the turnovers, and that's been the big...
That's one of the things that's not up there that I was thinking about.
Exactly. And the individual statistics, as you take a look at the Hampton side of the field, a huge crowd on hand. Young man, I'm trying to show you his high school ring, his Hampton high school ring. Third down efficiencies, the Warriors actually better than Hampton in that department. 3 out of 6 for 50%. Crabbers 1 out of 4 for 25. Individually, the Warriors paced by Cal Key, 7 carries, 18 yards. Tony Jordan, 5 carries for 12. And Mike Williams held to 11 yards here in the first half, and Mike Williams has been averaging over 70 yards per game. Tony Jordan, 5 passes, 3 completions, 22 yards all totaled, 1 interception, and his longest pass completion was 9 yards. Receiving, Mike Williams has 2 for 18, and Patterson 1 for 4. For the Hampton Crabbers, rushing, Alex Brown, the quarterback, with 57 net yards. There you see our broadcast position.
So they know who you are.
57 yards.
Great spot up there.
Right. 57 yards for Alex Brown on 7 carries. Vic Williams, 8 carries, 28 yards. Shelton Snow, 2 carries for 2 yards. Crabbers, 93 yards. They had a 6-yard loss to Brown, so a net of 87 rushing. Brown was 2 out of 5 for 37 yards. Of course, the longest was a 32-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Pittman, and Pittman did catch just that one pass. Hamlet caught the other pass, and that one was for 5 yards. The interceptions, Cassell's had 1 intercept for an 18-yard return. And as I said, Cassell's intercepted, and the Crabbers recovered a fumble. They fumbled once themselves and lost that. That one was recovered by Morocco Brown for the Kecoughtan Warriors. So our game relatively evenly played statistically, but the Hampton Crabbers taking advantage of the turnovers and turned 2 turnovers into 10 points. And then Vic Williams on a 15-yard run for the touchdown with 1:32 remaining has made our score 17-0. 24 minutes remaining in the season for one of these two teams. The victor of this game has the unenviable task of advancing to play either T.C. Williams or Annandale. Annandale is 10-1, ranked 7th in the state. T.C. Williams is 11-0 and ranked number 1 in the state, while the Crabbers, by the way, coming into this game, ranked number 4 in the state. Kickoff to start the second half comes to Mike Williams at the 5-yard line, and he gets out to the 25, where the Kecoughtan Warriors will set up 1st and 10.
Well, that's the best field position Kecoughtan has got off of a run back on at a kickoff. They have been down at their 15 and 10 and 15-yard line inside the 15. And so that gives them much better field position. Let's see what kind of adjustments Kurt Newsom made offensively to get this offensive game plan moving for the Warriors.
Dick Williams and Reggie Pittman each recording their 7th touchdown of the season in the first half of the ball game. Tony Jordan flips to Mike Williams, and he is momentarily slowed down at the 20, but gets back to the 25, the line of scrimmage.
Well, I don't know who that back was, but the defender over there did a great job of stopping him and slowing him down, but he is quick, Mike Williams.
Anthony Cherry ultimately made the stop for the Crabbers, and Mike Williams did well just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, you can see right now what Kecoughtan wants to do is get outside. They figure they've got some good speed, but Hampton has been doing a great job.
Jordan has a man out on a fly pattern. The intended receiver was Terry Thomas, number 25, but the pass was never really close.
But the Hampton Crabbers doing a good job of not letting the Warriors get outside on them, and that's where their quickness will really hurt you. That's what happened against First Colonial. Mike Williams had 199 yards, and a lot of that was outside. They got outside and around the ends on First Colonial. Hampton's not letting that happen.
3rd down and 10 for the Warriors. 11:05 remaining in the third quarter. Jordan has time, drops straight back, now rolls to his right, throws. He's got Patterson open, and it's deflected away on a good defensive effort by number 11, Terry Connor of the Crabbers. So Connor breaks the play up. There you see Terry Connor. His number and jersey shown in our pregame warm-up show. They're a nice little capsulized version of some of the action this season done by our production crew here at Channel 5. High snap to Pope, but it's not bad enough that he can't get the kick away. This is into the wind. It takes a Kecoughtan roll, and it'll go out of bounds inside the 45-yard line at the 44. So the Crabbers will have good field position. And Pope this time got a good snap from center. It wasn't particularly high, although it was a little bit.
Well, it was still high, and Hampton did not put on the rush that time that they did the time they blocked the punt. They had a return call, but it was not a real good punt. And the deep man for the Crabbers was very smart. Just get away and let the ball bounce because you got it at the 44. Great field position. Hampton's got two wideouts to the right side, and to the top side they have another wideout. So they're trying to stretch this defense a wee bit.
Brown back to pass. Has John Stein at the 21-yard line, and it's picked off by Cal Key on a great second effort by Cal Key.
Well, what Cal Key did that time was bat the ball in the air and then concentrated and caught it before it hit the ground.
Cal Key, of course, a former Hampton Crabber playing for Kecoughtan this year. And he returns the favor against his former teammates. Well, here's the replay.
John Stein was wide open, as you see on the replay.
Well, I thought we would, I guess.
Yeah, here it comes. He was wide open, but Cal Key playing that deep man. No, this was a play at the end of the first half.
Okay, we'll get back to that. Jordan throws. He's got Patterson at the 30-yard line, and Patterson goes out of bounds at the 40 with a first down, a gain of 20. 21-yard gain on the pass and catch to Matt Patterson.
Well, nothing will excite your offense any better than if you make a great defensive play and cause a turnover.
The turnovers are even at 2 apiece now. Of course, you can't count the block punt as a turnover, but it certainly was important, and it led to the Hampton score. On the option play, Mike Williams slowed down and then taken down. Out on the play, making the initial stop was Myron Newsom, number 55, who got a hold of the jersey, and that was the end of the running game for the Warriors on the play.
And number 80 for the Warriors, and that's Matt Patterson, is really slow getting up, and he's limping.
Boy, will that
and
be
they've called a timeout, officials timeout to get him off the field. He'll have to take at least one play off the field, but he is limping real bad on that right ankle, the right leg.
That will be a serious loss to the Warriors because he is one of their two-way players who plays an intricate part of both the offense and the defense. And there you see him limping off the field, and hopefully for the Warriors' sake he can return to the ball game, but it does not look good at this point.
Well, if it's an ankle, you can wrap it up real good, but if it's a knee, you got to really be careful. I didn't see what happened. That happened down here away from the ball that time.
Second down and 12. Flare pass thrown to number 25, Terry Thomas, but he is wrapped up for a gain of maybe a yard.
And that's Reginald Pittman, and that young man has really caught my eye tonight. He's not only caught a touchdown pass, but has made some great defensive plays out there tonight.
Here's your replay. There you see the flare out there to number 25, Thomas, and then Reggie Pittman just gets a hold of his jersey and drags him to the ground.
Now we have 3rd and 10.
So gain of 2 on the play. The Warriors with 9:09 remaining in the third quarter, trailing by 17. Jordan running for his life, throws, and it is picked off. The ball hit Reggie Pittman's hands and ended up in the hands of number 43, Deshaun King. So Pittman made contact with the ball. That's the perfect example of the tip drill.
And that's what you teach these young men in practice, is that tip drill you're talking about. You keep the ball in the air, somebody's going to catch it. Watch this. Pittman does a great job and then lost the ball, but that was number 44. Who was that to come up with the ball?
Deshaun King, number 43.
43.
So the Crabbers will take over at their 47-yard line. Great field position. Fred Brown gives to Vic Williams. Williams, trying to get outside, is dragged down by Lawrence Lewis. Another name that we will see and hear called a lot during any one of the Kecoughtan Warrior games. Lawrence Lewis and Matt Patterson are two very key defensive players for Kecoughtan. And with that, I'm happy to tell you that Matt Patterson has returned to the ball game for Kecoughtan.
Well, that really makes you breathe a little easier if you're on the Warrior side of the field to see Matt Patterson come back in, because he is an integral part of both the offense and the defense. He's one of the outside linebackers.
The ball just across midfield. Brown with all day, wants to throw long, he does. He's got John Stein, but Stein can't get it. In fact, Stein plays defense as Cal Key almost picked it off. That ball thrown 55 yards in the air.
And right on the money.
Oh, it was a bullet. We're not talking about a dying quail here. We're talking a bullet. So the incomplete pass stops the clock with 7:49. There you see he's standing on his 45 and throws it actually into the end zone. There you see the ball is actually tipped at the 2-yard line by Stein. But Stein had to play defense because Cal Key had a better shot than he did. 3rd down and 7 for the Crabbers. They send 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Split backfield into block. Brown steps up and now sees some running room. He's got to get across the 42 for a first down, and he does, and then takes a late hit. And no flag. I can't believe we didn't get a flag.
I can't either. He was hit well out of bounds. He was hit by 2 defenders.
Yeah, you see a flag, but those are going to be unsportsmanlike calls, and they shouldn't have come.
No, they're coming on the coaching staff.
I'm not taking sides, but that was a late hit. I don't care who you are or what team you're pulling for. Here's your replay. Brown will have all day, and then he'll say, well, wait a minute, I see something happening here. I'll get some yardage. Now watch where he goes out of bounds. He is pushed out of bounds right here, and then look at the late hit.
2 more people come in and hit him. A bad
So the flags will be thrown apparently on the team that responded to the penalty.
Well, it'll be a 1st and 15 as well. I mean, a 1st and 25. The ball, they got the first down. It's a post-possession penalty.
Now the game was good for a first down.
Well, not post-possession, post after the first down.
Dead ball foul is what they're trying to say, I think. So the officials didn't make the call that the Crabber coaching staff thought they should, and the coaches tried to do a little officiating of their own.
And I have to agree with you. That was so obvious. He was on the ground, out of bounds. 2 more players came in. No flag came out. That's
first down.
And it was not a flagrant foul, but it was a foul. And
well, that's the way it goes. So back to the 47. This is the original line of scrimmage. They had a 15-yard gain and a 15-yard penalty, and now we've got timeout called by the Crabbers as there was some confusion.
Mike Smith is really upset, and I can understand it. Let me give a chance while we got a break in action to talk about our player of the game, that we will pull a player from the game tonight, and of course we're going to give him a plaque. The plaque is donated by DC Engraving, which is located in York Village Shopping Center. It's a sample of metal photo, and York Village Shopping Center, of course, is located on Route 17 in Grafton, and Dave Buckwalter is a young man you need to see. We're also going to give a staff shirt with our call letters, WHCS Channel 5, Turner's Sports Place, and Player of the Game to each one of the players from each one of these teams, and that, of course, is donated by Turner's Hardware and Sports Place, which has a convenient located in Willow Oak Shopping Center. It also has 2 other locations, one in Denby, Hardware and Sporting Goods located in Denby Square, and the newest store, the Sports Place, which is located in shops at Hampton Harbor next to Hampton University. So you need to go down there for all your sporting goods and talk to Dave Chubb and Bruce Hatch. Oh, yes, and my director is telling me don't forget the seat that and I met Jesse Wheeler here tonight. He came up, and the seat is being readied with our call letters and everything. And, of course, that's donated also by Turner's Hardware and Sports Place.
Back to the action now. Shelton Snow gets the call and goes across midfield down to about the Kecoughtan 47-yard line. Shelton Snow is not an often used running back for the Crabbers, but his name does come up more often than not. He
does more blocking than he does running.
Exactly.
He's one of those. He's a member of the backfield who gets the recognition of the line, which is you don't get much recognition sometimes.
Carried 16 times for 44 yards during the regular season, but again, an intricate part of the backfield for the Crabbers. Second down and about 21, rather. This ball underthrown and contact, but no flags. A good no call, it would appear from here, as on the far sideline was Mario Gatling, and he was being covered very well by Terry Thomas on the play, and I think that was a good no call.
I think so too.
Here's your replay.
I think had Gatling kept running, he may have gotten at it. It looked like it was going to be underthrown, and actually he stopped and leaped up. Had he gone back a little further, I believe he would have caught the ball. He was just a little short, but again, what a nice throw by Mr. Fred A. Brown III.
Just a junior, I might add.
And sometimes he goes by Eric.
Or Alex.
Or Alex, that's what it is.
I was told he was Alex, but I had never heard anyone else call him that, so I couldn't call him that. And this is Brown scrambling for a couple of tough yards, but it will be well short of a first down. The Crabbers with that big 15-yard dead ball foul penalty called against them.
Well, that big number 81, Lawrence Lewis, who's 6'3", 220, was breathing heavily down his neck. And this will be a punting situation for the Crabbers.
Here you see your replay. This is Lawrence Lewis, as you said, Bob, coming around from his left end position, and he was chasing Brown. Brown did a good job to get away from one tackler, but then the pursuit caught up with him. John Stein will stand back at his 41-yard line. He'll have the wind behind him. The fake is on, and if in fact it was a fake,
I don't think it was a fake. It was going to be blocked, and that's a smart play, if you're the punter, you don't want to kick the ball and give them a chance to pick it up and run it in. You'd rather get tackled and get, maybe you could pick up a first down. That was not a planned fake. The Warriors just put a tremendous rush. There's no way he was going to get that ball off.
So the Warriors, with a big break here, will take over the ball squarely at midfield. 5:54 remaining in the third quarter. They trail by 17. This is Tony Jordan. He'll be close to, in fact, he will have a first down at the Hampton 39-yard line. A good effort by Tony Jordan.
Well, that may have been a busted play. It did not look like it was moving real, or didn't look like there was a good flow in the backfield, and Tony just ran the ball, picked up about 11 yards.
Jordan did a fine job of getting the first down, an 11-yard gain down to the Hampton 39. Jordan rolling. Now he gets pressure and has to eat the football at the 41.
Well, the pocket just collapsed on him. He was looking for a receiver downfield and just didn't have the time. You got to take your hats off to the defensive secondary. They're the ones that caused that because there was nobody open for Jordan to throw the ball to.
Lloyd Tucker and Dwayne DeBrew ultimately made that pocket collapse, and Jordan took the 2-yard loss. Second down and about 12. This is Jordan on the option play for about 3 as he is slammed back to the ground.
Well, the Warriors team would rather have Jordan keep the ball every time than pitch it, because he is not a noted speedster or as good a runner as Cal Key or Mike Williams.
Here's your replay. So far, as you talk about Mike Williams and Cal Key, they have not been significant participants in the offense for Kecoughtan, and that, of course, is credited to the Hampton defense.
Exactly. The Hampton defense is shutting them down, and they're saying, Jordan, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to run the ball, and that's not in the Kecoughtan game plan.
Cal Key in motion, and the pass, in fact, it might have been a lateral.
Number 89 for the Crabbers, and that's Galen Burrell jumped up and knocked that ball.
So Burrell blocks the pass out of bounds, and it goes to a 4th down and about 9 for Kecoughtan. Here's your replay. Jordan hit right into the big hands of Galen Burrell.
Well, had he been thinking, he may have probably had been able to catch that ball, because it was not a hard thrown ball, but he was thinking knock the ball down.
The Warriors going for it on 4th and about 9. Jordan stays in the pocket, throws, and it is knocked away. A good play not to intercept the ball, because you're going to get it right back at the 37-yard line. We have a flag down.
We got a flag on the play.
And it's going to be roughing the passer against Hampton.
A big penalty there, because
I saw the hit.
First down.
Watch your replay here. You're going to see Jordan get hit after he releases the ball. Well, you won't see it happen, but I watched it happen, and it was marginal. But the official right on top of the play ruled that the hit was late. Where they were on that previous late hit, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that was Terry Connor, the defensive back, number 11, who made the great play. But this is a big penalty, because it gives the Warriors excellent field position now with the first down.
It's like a turnover. The Crabbers had it at their 37. Instead, it's a first down at the Kecoughtan, the Hampton 23. So a big break for the Warriors. Tony Jordan trying to capitalize on it. Gets away from one would-be tackler. A great move inside the 10-yard line. So Tony Jordan doing it all on his own right now. His running mates are being shut down, so he's just keeping it and running. First and goal at the Hampton 9-yard line. 3:50. Here's your replay. Jordan almost stopped for a loss, but he got away from one tackle. Got a good block from Cal Key, and then just faked out another Hampton.
We got a good block from an official.
Yeah.
The official was in his way there, too, at one time.
And now the Warriors are going to call a timeout. That will be their first timeout of the second half, as they need to regroup and gather their thoughts here with a big 1st and goal at the 9, aided by the roughing the passer penalty. That is a huge play because the Crabbers would have had it at their 37 on the loss of downs. Instead, the Warriors get a 1st at the 22 of Hampton.
Well, you teach your defenders to go until they hear the whistle, but once that quarterback releases that ball, he is very vulnerable, and he is open to injuries. If you hit him, you can hit him as he's throwing it, but once he's released the ball, you got to call in the horses, so to speak.
You notice that roughing was on the quarterback, and if you think back to that out-of-bounds hit that we were kind of upset about, that was on a quarterback.
Yeah, that wasn't called. In fact, Kecoughtan came out pretty good on that because it made it 1st and 25.
So the Warriors now with a 1st and goal at the 9, and Jordan is wrapped up for a loss on the play. In on the stop, 89, Galen Burrell. Burrell coming from his right defensive end position. Here's your replay. You'll see Tony Jordan fake and then try and roll. And then Burrell just actually, I said defensive end, a linebacker position, just came in there and stopped him cold in his tracks.
He's playing defensive end. You were right.
Was it?
Yes.
Jordan flips the ball to Cal Key. Key trying to use his speed to turn the corner, gets down close to the 5-yard line.
I'll tell you one thing about this Hampton defense, and we've seen it year after year after year after year, that you get down inside that 10 or 20-yard line, they really get tough. And they're sending in some real big...
And they just sent in some beef. All right. Where's the beef that just came on the field? There you see the replay as Cal Key got the ball to the 5-yard line. It's 3rd down and goal at that point. There you saw the Kecoughtan band members and the big crowd on hand, almost a sellout for this game. 3rd down and goal at the Hampton 5. And now we've got a flag down on the play.
I think it may be illegal procedure against the Warriors. That's what it looked like to me. No, nope. It's against the Crabbers. Encroachment.
So the penalty goes against Hampton. That will be half the distance to the goal line. It'll put the ball between the 2 and 3. So the Warriors getting more than their share of benefit from penalties here in the second half. You'll listen in as Buck Victor will tell us.
The dead ball encroachment on the defense.
So it's between the 2 and the 3. It's still 3rd down and goal. Jordan, and he fumbles the ball, but he scores the touchdown first.
Well, once the ball breaks the plane, it's a touchdown, regardless of what happens after that. And that's exactly what that call was.
So the officials right at the goal line signal touchdown for Jordan. Eric Long will be on to try the extra point, and his kick is long enough, and it's good. So the Warriors, with the help of a roughing the passer call and a few other penalties against the Crabbers, are able to capitalize. Let's watch this again now. Jordan, all he has to do is have control of the ball as he gets to the goal line. Let's just see if that ball is in his hands when he gets to the goal line. It's a moot point at this part because the officials down on the field have called a touchdown. There you see the ball.
The ball was in the end zone when it was fumbled, so it was a good call.
And certainly the officials right there on the play were able to make the call. Once that goal line is broken, the ball doesn't matter if it pops loose as long as you have control of it when you cross the goal line.
Well, the play ends as soon as the ball crosses the goal line.
Now, of course, the Hampton fans and the coaching staff didn't agree with the call.
Well,
but you wouldn't have expected
you could see it from
exactly.
We have the advantage of having the replay in slow motion. Our camera people do such a great job, and Joe Lewis does a great job with that slow motion machine, that we have a great advantage.
This is Sean Hamlet trying to break outside. A good stiff arm will give him an extra 5 or 6 yards as he is finally chased out of bounds. Making the hit was number 51 for Kecoughtan, and unfortunately I don't have an updated program that tells me who number 51 is for Kecoughtan. Do you have a 51? No, you don't either. We apologize to 51, but we don't know what your name is, sir. Here you see Sean Hamlet trying to get outside. Good stiff arm. And then finally he's driven out of bounds. 19-yard return for Sean Hamlet, who has not seen much action running the ball tonight. Vic Williams, who's got it again, has been the mainstay with the ball for the Crabbers. He gets across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Sean Hamlet had done a lot of ball carrying for the Crabbers. The last against Mansfield, 65 yards he had, but then against Bethel he only carried the ball once. Here's your replay. This is Vic Williams getting a good downfield block. Mario Gatling was looking for someone to block.
Well, he was blocking 52, but that's not who made the tackle.
Second down and a yard, and this is Snow for the first. So Shelton Snow gets the first down for Hampton with 1:13 remaining as the clock is stopped while they advance the chains. This game a much different ball game with just a 10-point margin. Kecoughtan trailing by 10.
Well, I'm watching the flags, and they're not blowing with any intensity as they were at the beginning of the game, and sometimes I look down and they're hanging limp. So the wind has not been a factor this second half.
This is Vic Williams struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage. He does so, but that's about all.
Well, the defensive line that time drove the offensive people back into the runner, and there was no place for Vic to go.
You saw a quick look at number 72, Dwayne DeBrew, who has had a fine ball game for the Hampton Crabbers. Here's your replay. See that ball, that play rather, stacked up very nicely by number 76, John Johnson of Kecoughtan. 21 seconds remaining in the third quarter. All the scoring in this quarter by Kecoughtan as they scored that touchdown. Fred Brown keeps the ball and gets maybe a yard. That will be the final play of the third quarter. And there is the end of the third quarter as the Hampton Crabbers lead by 10. All the scoring for Hampton in the first half. If you joined us late, the Crabbers opened the scoring with Sam Welch on a 35-yard field goal, his second of the season. Then a 35-yard touchdown pass from Fred Brown to Reginald Pittman with 5:23 remaining in the half. Welch's extra point made it 10-0. Then a 15-yard run by Vic Williams, his seventh touchdown of the season with 1:32 to go in the half. An extra point made it 17-0. And now here in the third quarter, Tony Jordan has scored from 2 yards out. And the extra point was good by Eric Long, and that's how we stand as we start the fourth quarter. The Hampton Crabbers holding on to a 10-point lead. The winner of this game advances to the state semifinal Division 6 against either T.C. Williams or Annandale High School. That game next Saturday afternoon in Northern Virginia. So if those of you that may be watching this game on Saturday or Sunday or sometime during the week, the game will be in Northern Virginia, and it will be, I believe, Bob, at T.C. Williams High School, if I remember.
W.T. Woodson.
W.T. Woodson, where we've been before. Yeah. They have a press box the size of a phone booth. We're going to have a good time up there. We've been spoiled here in the fine confines of Darling Stadium.
So, Tim, that score, Kecoughtan's score started with the flag after Hampton got a first down. They got a 15-yarder. Made it 1st and 25 on the punt. It could have been blocked, so Stein ran the ball. A quarterback got a roughing penalty, moved the ball down, and then another penalty, moved it half the distance to the goal line. And that's how Kecoughtan got that score that time. I'm not saying that they were lucky, but there were some events that led up to it, and it all started with a 15-yarder against Hampton after they had got a big first down, and it ended up being in Kecoughtan's favor.
Very good point that the sequence of plays started with that, because Hampton had a first down, and then by protesting a call. You're absolutely right. Third quarter statistics, the first downs even at 3 apiece for the two teams. Crabbers were 1 of 2 in the third down department, as the Warriors were 0 for 3. 53 net yards for Kecoughtan, while the Crabbers had 32. Pass attempts 2 of 7 with 1 interception for the Warriors. 0 for 3 for Fred Brown with 1 INT. The punts 1 for the Warriors of 31 yards. Time of possession 5:19 for the Crabbers. 3:41 for, make that 6:41 for the Warriors. Individually, Tony Jordan carried 6 times for 27 yards. Cal Key once for 5, and Mike Williams was thrown for a 2-yard loss. 30 net yards for Kecoughtan. Warriors 2 out of 7 passing for 23 yards. Patterson made 1 catch, as Terry Thomas. And there was the 1 interception by Cal Key for the Warriors. Individually, Alex Brown had 3 carries for 16 yards. Vic Williams 3 for 12. Shelton Snow carried twice for 9. And John Stein carried once on that muffed punt play for a -5 yards, 32 yards total. Alex Brown 0 for 3 in the third quarter, and he was intercepted once. And going into the fourth quarter, we've got a 10-point ball game. Brown back to pass. Throws, he's got Mario Gatling, and Gatling can't hold on to it at the 25-yard line. That ball was touchdown all over it if Gatling could have held on. I think the Kecoughtan defender got a hand on the play.
That's Mike Williams that got a hand on it.
Mike Williams?
Number 2, yes.
Here's your replay. Watch as Brown goes back, and he throws this ball right in the arms of Gatling. And there you see Mike Williams.
No,
I don't know that he
never got a hand on it, but he probably affected his vision.
So the Crabbers will have to kick the ball with a 4th down and 8 at their 49-yard line. The Warriors are coming. Stein gets it away into the wind. It takes a Hampton bounce, and Cal Key will leave it alone as it will roll dead at the 17-yard line. So the Warriors are able to stop the Crabbers on defense, and boy, I'll tell you, Gatling catches that ball, he's gone.
Yeah, he was wide open, and it was not a good play by Mike Williams, other than he evidently got his field of vision and affected Gatling, because he did not touch the ball, as we could see on replay.
You see some of the young fans here on hand for this game, a near sellout crowd, both sides of the field full. This is the way I like to see this stadium full. Glad to see all these people out here supporting 2 fine football programs. Tony Jordan doing it on his own again, as he has done so much here in the third quarter.
That was a design call. That was a quarterback draw play.
And Jordan comes up limping.
And that could be a big play, because if he is limping, he won't be quite as effective. But I can remember back when the Green Bay Packers was playing, they had a guy by the name of Taylor running the ball, and he'd get up like he just about couldn't move, and he'd hand him the ball, he'd run over people. So it may be a ploy.
Jordan stays in the ball game after picking up 4. Rolling to his left, throwing over the middle behind the intended receiver, Mike Thacker. As the ball goes incomplete.
Excuse me, Tim.
Yeah, it was. Several Crabbers defending on the play. Cassels and Hamlin over there, but if the ball had been on target, that would have been a completed pass.
And it could very well be the way he's favoring that right leg, that he's not getting on the ball what he wants to, and that's why he threw the ball behind Thacker that time.
That stops the clock with 10:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd down and 6 for the Warriors at their 21-yard line. Jordan has time, throws. He's got Cal Key open and completes the pass at the 41-yard line amongst no less than 4 Hampton defenders on the play.
Nice touch on the ball that time by Tony Jordan.
And Cal Key, the receiver on the play, is shaken up, and he is not getting up at this moment.
He's just got a cramp in his leg, it looks like. As Coach Mike Horton and Revis Conrad out there, as you can see the tail end of that play, and he just has a cramp is what it looks like.
And he is able to trot off the field on his own, we're happy to say. That's just the second catch all year for Cal Key. He caught a pass against Phoebus back on the 19th of October, but that is only his second reception, and Jordan laid that in right between 4 Hampton defenders. So it's the first down for Kecoughtan at their 42-yard line. Clock is restarted with 10:29 remaining in the fourth quarter. You're watching the finals of the Eastern Region Division 6, the Hampton Crabbers and the Kecoughtan Warriors. I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. Tony Jordan he's out to midfield.
Well, Kecoughtan is moving the ball against this good Hampton defense right now. They're not coming up with the second and short long. They're coming up with second and short. And right now you've got to say that Tony Jordan is the man for Kecoughtan. He's the one that decided to take it on his shoulder to move this team.
Here's your replay. Pickup of almost 9 on the play. Let's call it second down and a yard. Oh, a vicious hit at the line of scrimmage on the intended ball carrier. Jordan again gets up gingerly, and it's going to be short of the first down. It'll be a gain of about a half a yard. Third down and 1 to go. 17-7, the Crabbers leading by 10. The winner advances to the state semifinals. The loser is done for the season. Tony Jordan keeps and gets the first down, or at least appears to have the first down. The way these crooked yard markers are, I'm not taking anything for granted anymore.
You're not going to go out on the limb again. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
This one is clearly, and I'm not referring to the officials as being crooked, but the yard marker itself. But Jordan does get the first down at the Hampton 48-yard line. Clock is restarted with 9 minutes to go. So time becomes a factor in this ball game as the Crabbers leading by 10. But definitely the momentum has swung over to the Warriors. And this man, Tony Jordan, is the reason why, as he gets to about the 42-yard line. But it's been all Tony Jordan, and if we had to pick, in my opinion, the player of the game for the Warriors, and it's a little early to do that, but he's certainly a leading candidate among others with Patterson.
He certainly is, as Lawrence Lewis and Matt Patterson, and of course on the other side we have my man Pittman, who's I'm leaning towards right now, along with DeBrew, who's played a great game.
But that's early talk. Let's concentrate on the game as Jordan falls down as he gets close to the 40-yard line.
Well, he actually slipped as he tried to make his cut that time, but the Hampton Crabbers are taking away the rest of the offense. They're not letting Cal Key or Mike Williams get the ball, and Tony Jordan is saying, well, if it's got to be me, I guess I got to do it.
Again, our congratulations to Larry Malloy and his crew here at Darling Stadium for getting this field in as good a condition as it could possibly be. We did have rain last night and early this morning, but the field was relatively dry. And there you see Cal Key, Mike Williams rather, who struggles close to a first down. It would appear that he got enough for the first down.
It looks like it from this angle, but it's hard to tell. Now it is at first down.
So Buck Victor indicates the first down is in fact registered by the Warriors at the Hampton 37-yard line. Here's your replay. You see Mike Williams' good second effort as he was just not going to be denied. So the Warriors hanging really tough here, trailing by 10 points with 7.5 to go. Jordan throws a pass, is in fact a lateral, and then the pass downfield is off the mark for Cal Key. That was Morocco Brown who threw a pass similar to that in a game we covered earlier.
Yeah, he has a good arm, but he was hurried that time. The ball, he had to really go back to catch the pass, and then he didn't get a chance to set as quick as he wanted to. But that was a good call because
this is a lateral now. And the official on the far sideline indicating so by putting his arm back in the opposite direction of the direction that Kecoughtan is going.
And you see the Cal Key was open.
Morocco Brown has thrown twice this year, completed 1 for 21. Then against the Bethel Bruins, and then against Phoebus, he threw an incompletion. And again, our friends of the Daily Press, Mike Keach and others, we certainly thank them all season long for their contribution of the statistics for this game. They really make it a lot easier for me to do the game, and I take my hat off to those gentlemen over at the Daily Press. We appreciate
right on the
their help.
bottom of that line that time, and I don't want to cut you off on your Daily Press people because they do a great job, but Dwayne DeBrew was right in the middle of that. Him and Pittman have really played well defensively, and Pittman, of course, caught a touchdown pass.
Over the middle, and we have contact, no flag down as the defender on the play was going for the ball. And the officials right there to indicate no penalty. That makes it 4th down now for the Warriors, so they're faced with a very important play at this point in the ballgame. Here's your replay. You'll see Jordan passing all the way, and you're going to watch Thacker and then the Hampton defender, Cassell's, definitely playing the ball.
What great timing, and this is a big 4th down. We had a similar position in the 3rd quarter that ended up with a penalty.
And this will be a sack as your man, Reggie Pittman, comes in and
I tell you, that young man is just, he is Mr. Everything tonight for me. He's just done a super job out there. Johnny on the spot, and I don't mean to detract from the rest of the team out there. They all are doing great, but that was a big play for Hampton. They've got the ball with 6:40. Kecoughtan's got to score twice to get back in this ball game.
Tony Jordan has really hurt Hampton here in the second half, and Pittman is able to stop him on 4th down, and the ball goes over to the Crabbers from their 35-yard line. Crabbers, of course, now just want to wear that clock out. This is Vic Williams, and he'll be thrown for a loss of a yard on the play. Again, that Kecoughtan defense has been superb all night long. They just haven't been able to overcome the fact that the Crabbers capitalized on 2 turnovers and a blocked punt.
That was Morocco Brown, the 200-pound 9th grader, made a great defensive play that time. They haven't lost a whole lot with losing
Vince Thomas?
Vincent Thomas. I mean, he's a great leader, but Morocco has filled his shoes well.
Brown wants to throw long. He's got Gatling out on the fly pattern along with Terry Thomas. So just when you think Mike Smith will burn time off the clock, he goes for the home run ball.
Yeah.
Stopping the clock, which of course Hampton does not want the clock to stop. Here you see Brown going back, and again utilizing that strong right arm of his. He threw it too far, as the intended receiver was not even that close to the ball.
Well, the young man for Kecoughtan kind of slowed down a bit and said, "You're going to have to run over me to get the ball."
Clock stops with 5:40 remaining. Brown again back to pass. Has Reggie Pittman, but he just can't quite haul it in as Pittman got a hand on the ball. Again, Brown and Cal Key defending on the play, as well as Matt Patterson coming back from his linebacker position. 4th down for the Crabbers, so they used 2 passes in their 3 downs and out, which is a bit of a surprise. But then nothing does ever surprise you.
They know that you got to move the ball, and they're not having success on the ground. But you can bet the Kecoughtan is going to come with 10 men.
John Stein standing at his 21 as the Warriors are coming, and Stein will have to eat the football. So the rush of the Kecoughtan Warriors twice now has gotten to John Stein before he even had a chance to kick it. Boy, what a big play that was for Kecoughtan. Don't go away, folks. This game is far from over. That ball all the way back to the 18-yard line of Hampton. They mark it now at the 19, but that's a irrelevant point at this point. The Kecoughtan Warriors, with their never say die attitude, have come on and twice have prevented Stein from getting his punt away. Tony Jordan again calls his own number, struggles down close to the 15.
Well, Kecoughtan has kept that Hampton offense on the field a very long time the second half.
You mean their defense?
I'm sorry, their defense. Hampton defense has been on the field much longer than what they're used to. They're going to get a little bit tired. You can see a good shot of Alvis Mann on the sideline trying to pump those young men up.
4-yard gain on the play for Jordan. 2nd and 6, 4:45 remaining. Kalki in motion to the near side. Handoff goes to Mike Williams, and he is down to the 12-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and a long 2. The Warriors have just 1 timeout remaining, so they can't stop the clock but just once with a timeout. The Hampton Crabbers have 2 timeouts remaining.
And here's Dwayne DeBrew again on the tackle.
There's your replay as you see DeBrew putting the stop on Mike Williams. 3rd down and a long 2. Pass to Kalki. Kalki is wrapped up out of bounds on a good defensive effort by number 55 for the Crabbers. That's Myron Newsom, as he was assigned to guard Key, and he did exactly that.
And he looked like he lost maybe a half a yard on that play to a yard. Yes, about a yard loss on that play. Brings up a 4th and 4.
Here's your replay. Kalki getting the catch, but then Newsom right there to drag him out of bounds after a loss of a yard. So again on 4th down, the Warriors will go for it. 4th and about 3. Watch for the long count in an effort. Now they have to use their last timeout as the Crabbers did not jump. Good discipline that time by this young Hampton team.
I tell you, if you're a fan, there is all kinds of things happening here tonight, and you don't want to leave or go anywhere. You want to stay right here and see it.
I'm looking around. I'm telling you, the stands are still filled, as very few people have made it to the parking lot with 4:06 remaining. Kecoughtan uses their last timeout, so that could be a very important factor in this last 4 minutes and 6 seconds. They cannot stop the clock with a timeout again. And of course, they more importantly right now have to get that 1st down or the touchdown. They're on the 13-yard line. It's 4th down and about, well, almost 4 after that loss by Kalki. You going to try and make it down to the field there, Bob?
I'm going to try. This is a great vantage point here.
Yeah, you hate to give it up, and there aren't any bad vantage points in the stands, at least here. Of course, when you get down in the field, you can't see as well.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb early with the player of the game for the Crabbers, and I'm going to go with Reggie Pittman.
I think that's a good call. I'll agree with you on that.
Kecoughtan, it's Tony has definitely done a great job as well as other people there, so I'm going to let you.
Well, I'll have to concur with Tony Jordan, as I don't think Kecoughtan would be anywhere near where they are without Jordan's efforts tonight. And he is picked off by Sean Hamlet, and Sean Hamlet is looking for some blockers. This might be it. He is still in bounds. There is a flag down, however. He will get into the end zone, but there is a flag back at the 21-yard line. If that stands,
that was about a 99.5-yard run back, but like you said, there is a flag on the play.
And they may bring this one back. I don't believe the interception will be negated, but I think the run back will be. There's a clip call on the run back. So here's your replay. There you see, in fact, that ball was picked off in the end zone. Now let's see if we can see the clip at around the 21-yard line. They're at the 10 now. See if you can pick it up. It's probably going to be out of your picture. There's a block to the back on 64.
There was a block right there, but that was way up around the 50-yard line.
So obviously the block or the clip that was called was out of the picture that we just showed you. There you see Sean Hamlet running 102 yards with the interception, but he'll get the interception, but the run back will not count. The touchdown will not count because of the clip. This all comes with 3:49 remaining in the 4th quarter. Of course, to use that word you used earlier, the post-possession foul will give the ball to Hampton.
We have clipping during the return. First down.
So yeah, you heard referee Fichter tell you a clip against Hampton, but the ball does belong to the Crabbers. With 3:49 remaining in the fourth quarter, they'll have the ball at their 10. And now we have movement on the defensive side of the line. I believe we're going to have encroachment against Kecoughtan. And that'll give Hampton a little breathing room as they'll have the ball now at the 15-yard line.
Well, Tim, I'm going down to the field.
All right, Bob, I will keep in touch with you. There you see the scoreboard and the time remaining. Hampton, the home team tonight, they are ahead by 10. We want to thank our crew for their usual superb job tonight. Our director, Scotty Bowers, our producer, Dr. Sam Stills, our camera people, we've got them all over the place down there. We got Jerome Young. Ooh. And now the Crabbers have called a timeout. As I started to say, our crew for tonight's ball game, our director, Scotty Bowers, Bev Penn doing our graphics, the camera people, Jerome Young, we've got Ron Bateman, and Mr. Hooker, and who's our sideline camera tonight, Dr. Stills? Dr. Stills isn't listening to me, so. All right, well, we've got a stop in the play here. We'll return to Darling Stadium with the conclusion of tonight's ball game after this brief timeout. First down and 5 for Hampton with 3:49 remaining in the fourth quarter. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz coming to you from Darling Stadium. This is the quarterback draw play, and Fred Brown is wrapped up. There's a fumble on the play, and the Warriors have come up with it.
This game is not over yet.
Fumble on the play, and coming up with the ball was number 80, Matt Patterson, who has had a super ball game for Kecoughtan tonight, and they still have life. Here's your replay. Fred Brown looked like he was going to do the quarterback draw. There you see Patterson, number 80, pounce on the ball. And the Warriors, with 3:35 remaining, have new life at the Hampton 13. Cal Key gets the call, and he gets a yard at best. The Crabbers with 1 timeout remaining. Kecoughtan with no timeouts remaining. The Crabbers and Kecoughtan, the ball at the Hampton 11-yard line, a gain of about 3 by Cal Key. Kecoughtan cannot stop the clock with a timeout. And now the officials call a timeout.
Hey, Tim, I'm right here at the back of the end zone. I'm going to watch what's happening coming right at me. I wish we had the camera here. There is some hitting going on out here tonight. Both of these teams are fired up, and Kecoughtan is definitely playing with a lot of emotion and have got the momentum on their side.
Not Mario Gatling, but rather Reginald Pittman, our Hampton player of the game, is coming out of the ball game. He was shaken up on that previous play. On the carry by Cal Key, Pittman had his bell rung, and he is coming off the field. And that was the reason for the officials' timeout. Now the clock is restarted with 3 minutes remaining. Second down and 8 for Kecoughtan. Jordan throws, completes it to Terry Thomas at the 6. Terry Thomas, the junior wide receiver, makes the reception at, well, actually they're going to mark it close to the 5-yard line.
Well,
that'll bring up a third down and 2.
And you get 2:40 and count, Tim.
Kecoughtan trying to hurry the play. Jordan over center. 2.5 to go. And Jordan on the quarterback draw play. Nothing happening. He's stopped at the 9-yard line.
Kecoughtan, that was a cold play that time, but the Hampton defense were ready for it. That's what has been happening all game, and you see the Kecoughtan comes up real quick, Tim. They don't have any timeouts because they can't stop the clock.
Lloyd Tucker, 74, in on the stop. There's Eric Long on the field to try a 25-yard field goal. which would cut the margin to 7. The Warriors need the 2 scores, so they get the 1 score that they have to have at least. And now the score becomes a 7-point difference on the 25, actually make that a 26-yard Welch field goal.
And Tim, don't you know that there's going to be an onside kick?
Let me correct myself. That was Eric Long, not Welch, but Long with a 26-yard field goal for the Warriors. So with 1:52 remaining, you're absolutely right, Bob. We will see an onside kick attempt. Kurt Newsom, knowing he has to score twice to even have a chance to tie the ball game, went ahead and got the 1 score. The field goal was good by Long. He, of course, kicked a 27-yarder last week to defeat First Colonial. And now the Warriors will have everyone on the near side of the field to try the onside kick.
Well, what you also see is Hampton has put in ball handlers. They've got people that can handle the ball, and they've taken out some of their bigger men because they want to get the ball and down it and run out the clock.
Eric Long will have it teed up. He's got 11 players, or including himself, he's got 10 players to the near side of the ball. He'll try and kick it 10 yards. He does, is fielded, and immediately John Stein takes the ball to the ground at the Hampton 49-yard line. So a smart play by the junior John Stein, who does the punting, and twice tonight has had to eat the football on a punting situation. So not to imply for a moment that it was his fault that he had to do that, but of course here he has a great contribution to his team's effort by fielding the ball cleanly and immediately going to the ground at midfield.
Well, Tim, you said it earlier, Kecoughtan has used all their timeouts, so they cannot stop the clock at all. So Hampton, of course, is not going to do anything silly. They're not going to put the ball up in the air. Your clock is now running. They may even go ahead and take a penalty here, but they want to just let that clock run and get out of here with that 17-10 victory.
Happy holidays!
Crabbers do not have to do much more than take the snap, and now they'll get a delay of the game call. They took as much time as possible and then some. They take that penalty with 1:25 remaining. Field position is not of any real importance at this time, so they don't care whether they take the penalty or not. It backs them up to their 45. They still have 3 snaps of the ball.
We have delay on the offense.
Is maintain control of that ball. I'll tell you one thing, Hampton may come away with a victory here, but give an awful lot of credit to a Kecoughtan team that never quit.
Well, they've come out the second half and dominated the second half.
Nick Williams gets back to 5 and then some, so to some surprise, the Crabbers, who all they really had to do was drop to a knee and to let the time continue to roll, in fact, do run a play. They get back to 5 on a penalty plus a yard, and now there's 1:03 remaining. There you see the time and the score. Game coming to you from Darling Stadium on the 23rd of November. By the way, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. A little late. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Of course, the Crabbers looking to advance to state semifinal action next Saturday afternoon. The winner of this game plays the winner of Annandale, T.C. Williams.
Tim, these young men are down there hitting. They have not given up, either one of these two teams. This is really a star in the sky for the Hampton school system. These are 2 great teams. Had they been in different conferences, they could have both ended up in the finals in the state championship.
Third down for Hampton at about 5, 15 seconds remaining. And this should be the last play of the ball game, because all they have to do is take the snap. Fred Brown does, in fact, fall to the ground, and that will do it, because it's going to be 4th down, but there's no way to stop the clock for the Warriors. So there's your final play of the ball game. The Hampton Crabbers capitalizing on Kecoughtan Warrior mistakes in the first half. Hold on in the second half as the Warriors come back. They score 10 points in the second half, but it's not enough as the Hampton Crabbers will advance to the state semifinals.
touchdown pass, but defensively we called your name a lot tonight.
Thank you. We practiced hard all week, and I think we deserve to come out here and win. And every game to us is a state game from now on to our seniors, and that's what we're going to try to make it to state.
Well, listen, you know, the whole defense did a great job, but Kecoughtan came back here in the second half, but you guys really sucked it up and did a great job.
Yeah, well, we practiced hard, and I owe it all to Cherry and the seniors and the linebackers, stuff like that. We practiced hard, and we came out here and deserved it, and we got it. I hope we get it next week, too.
Well, good enough. Well, we'll see you next week. Congratulations. You're a player of the game, and I'll have a shirt and a plaque for you.
All right, thanks.
Good enough. Tim, let's go back up to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. And, because of our headset problem, I was not able to realize you were talking with Reggie initially. I apologize if I was talking while you were, but I was running down the fact that the Hampton Crabbers dominated the first half, and then it was all Kecoughtan Warriors in the second as they came back with 10 points. Not to be denied, but the Hampton Crabbers know they were in a fight, and I see you have Danny Mitchell.
Yeah, Tim, I got Danny here. Coach, there was a couple calls towards the end of that game that could have really changed the complexion of this ball game.
Yeah, it was it's just, that's football, and, our defense rose to the occasion. We played great defense.
Well, your defense was on the field a lot the second half, and you're not used to that.
Yeah, well, when you get in this kind of game like the Eastern Regional Championship, you don't expect blowouts anyway. And I knew Kurt's kids wouldn't quit. And, we told them at halftime they wouldn't quit, and we had to come out and play football.
Well, they sure didn't quit, but we picked Reggie Pittman for the player of the game. There could have been a lot of people we picked, but he did not only caught a touchdown pass, but I thought he did a great job defensively.
Yeah, that was a big key for us. Reggie didn't play defense that much when we played Kecoughtan last time. And like I said, it's hard to single out one kid. But, defense, offense, we got the job done, and that's what it's about.
It sure is. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Tim, let's go back up to the booth.
And let me echo those sentiments to Danny Mitchell, that it was not a single person who made the victory for the Hampton Crabbers. It was an excellent team effort, and when we choose one player, it is only an unscientific effort on our part to just single out one particular player for a fine effort. But the Hampton Crabbers as a team, and Coach Mike Smith and his staff as a group, should be heartily congratulated for a superb effort, a young football team. As you said, while we were in the process of bringing this game to the fans, they didn't really think that they had a chance to go this far this year with all the young players they had. They were replacing a tremendous graduation loss from 1989-90, and the young players have come through for the Crabbers so far. And to me, that's been the big difference in the season for Hampton. They have gotten the maturity that they needed to get from the young players. And this team, the Hampton Crabbers, who will be in the state semifinals next Saturday up at W.T. Woodson, has 18 underclassmen starters. So Peninsula District, Eastern Region, look out. This is not a final year for the dominance of the Hampton Crabbers. They are not only going to advance to semifinal play, but they will be back next year with, I understand again, either undefeated or once beaten JV team. So the parade continues for the Hampton Crabbers. Bob is trying to get an opportunity to talk with some of the Kecoughtan Warriors, and of course they are having a prolonged huddle. There you see them. There you see Danny Mitchell and his youngster. The Kecoughtan Warriors having a meeting to discuss not only this game but their season, and our congratulations to Kurt Newsom and the Kecoughtan team. Their record ultimately becomes 9-3. They've had a great season. Kurt Newsom has done a super job at Kecoughtan, and our heartiest congratulations to them. And this has been one of those years that Hampton City Schools, as a rule, have been a dominating force. The Bethel Bruins did not make the playoffs, but they played well. And at one point in the season, when they were 4-2, could have easily been 6-0, but injuries hurt them.
Hey, Tim, I'm going to get Coach Mike Horton over here.
All right. Good. You can keep me from rambling on, Bob. Go ahead.
Mike, boy, you guys come out of the second half and played a tremendous ball game.
Yeah, we did. We felt like we really did. Went in and made some adjustments and played well defensively, we thought, pretty much the whole football game. I mean,
you shut down Hampton's strong running attack.
Yeah, we did do that, and but we did turnovers, and our kicking game really hurt us a lot. I mean, that was critical. We had some bad snaps, and bad snap on the punt, bad snap on the field goal. I mean, it could have been a whole other ball game down there if we'd have got some points. So,
well, we were looking at, you go in at 17-0 down at halftime, I don't know what you told the kids, but boy, they need to hear that at the beginning of the ball game.
Well, that might be true, but when you come out and make the type of mistakes that we made, I mean, there's just not much you can do about that. We came out the second half and felt like we could move the ball on them, and we did, and it had some success, and just a little bit too late, that's all.
Yeah, well, I tell you have nothing to be ashamed of. This is a fantastic team, and, you know, it's a shame that you had to meet now and sit in the state championship.
Yeah, well, we're real disappointed. We're real proud of our kids. We felt like they'd done a heck of a job, worked real hard, and we're hoping to go on past this and win our first Eastern Regional Championship. But that's football and that's life, so
suck it up and another day.
Suck it up and go on for next year.
Good enough. Well, listen, congratulations on a fine season. We'll talk to you later, Mike.
Okay.
Tam, let's go back up to the booth.
All right, Bob, thank you. And again, our congratulations to the Kecoughtan Warriors as they end their season with a 9-3 record. They end up playing Hampton extremely tough. Both times the Crabbers won the first game 14-0, and then they come away with a 7-point victory in this game, 17-10, as the Crabbers scored all of their points in the first half. All of Kecoughtan's points came in the second half, and the Kecoughtan Warriors just never gave up. They just would not quit. And to their credit, they didn't win the ball game, but they certainly did a fine job. And our congratulations to the Hampton Crabbers, as they once again will advance to postseason extra play, as they will go to W.T. Woodson High School up in Northern Virginia next Saturday afternoon, a 2 o'clock game time. And their opponent will be the victor of the game between the number 1 team in the state, T.C. Williams, and Annandale High School. Those two teams will play Saturday afternoon to determine the winner of that ball game. So again, the final score here from Darling Stadium, the Hampton Crabbers win by a touchdown, 17-10 over the Kecoughtan Warriors. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole, and we thank you for watching. Hope you'll join us next time here on Channel 5 for the best in high school sports. Good night, everybody.